Hey guys, Logan Battles here. Welcome to another episode of LBFT. This is episode 9 of LBFT Season 3. For this episode, I'm going to be talking about one of the Sunday night football matchups that took place in Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. That matchup would happen to be the matchup between the visiting Green Bay Packers, led by the bad man that is Aaron Rodgers, and the San Francisco 49ers. The one loss, San Francisco 49ers. They were 9-1 going into this game, and the Packers were 8-2 going into the season. So this was basically, to me, this was America's game of the year. Forget about game of the week. This to me was America's game of the year, because we got two of these, really great teams, really great franchises going into this game, playing really great football. And then the first quarter started. How the first quarter started? On the Green Bay Packers' first possession of the game, it ended with a fumble recovered by the defense for the 49ers, which, if I'm not mistaken, snapped their 39-game streak on their first possessions of a game without a turnover. So this is the first time in 39 games that the Green Bay Packers played in that played on first possession without a turnover, a fumble, or an interception. And that's where the game got downhill from. There. It was, I understand that the San Francisco 49ers are picked as the odds-on favorite to win this game. And it's not just because they're playing at home at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California, that they're playing at their home field against a visiting team from Green Bay, led by Aaron Rodgers. But it's also because the San Francisco 49ers, all around, have proven to be a better team on both sides of the ball than the Green Bay Packers. And those that pick the 49ers, I understand why, and I don't blame them for picking the 49ers to win. I don't blame them whatsoever. I would probably do the same as well. But I didn't pick the 49ers to win this game. And the reason why I didn't pick the 49ers to win this game was because of the quarterback that they were going up against. A quarterback that has proven throughout his entire career to usurp great defenses. Even the ones where he was struggling at first, he then came back and gave his team the wins against those really great defensive teams. But this didn't happen. The 49ers showed up and showed out when it counts most. I gotta give props where props is due to the San Francisco 49ers. Not just their defense, who, by the way, to give you some context of how bad the Packers have been beaten by the 49ers. If you watch the game, the 49ers didn't have to blitz against Aaron Rodgers in order to stop him or even contain him. They didn't have to blitz him in order to stop Aaron Rodgers and his offense. Because they got this dude, Nick Bosa. Oh my Lord. It was incredible the way that the 49ers got Aaron Rodgers, even without blitzing him. It was just that insane. If you can do that against a man like Aaron Rodgers, that makes you a Super Bowl caliber team. That I gotta tell you guys something. That is a Super Bowl caliber defense that the 49ers have. It was just that for real. I mean, I could not believe what I was seeing. It's like, what? I mean, I understand that the 49ers were great and all, but Aaron Rodgers, for a man that has shown time or proved time and time again that he can lead his team to victories even when the odds were stacked against him. You know, him overcoming adversity and stuff like that. But apparently, Aaron Rodgers didn't show up. He didn't show up. Now, he's not the main reason why the Packers lost. Don't look at Aaron Rodgers and say that he's the reason why the Packers lost. No, that's not true. Aaron Rodgers is not the reason why the Packers lost. He didn't have enough help to catch up with the 49ers. He didn't have his receiving corps didn't show up when it counted. They did not make any pass. They didn't catch any passes from Aaron Rodgers when they needed to score points on the 49ers. They didn't have a running game led by Aaron Jones, who didn't even show up. He was very non-existent against the 49ers' elite rushing defense, and the lowest of the low for the Green Bay Packers is their damn offensive line. Their offensive line could not stop allowing the 49ers defense to sack Aaron Rodgers and get into his face all game long. They could not stop them. They could not give Aaron Rodgers any time to throw the ball. No time whatsoever. It's like, I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. I mean, his offensive line didn't give him enough time to throw the ball, damn it. It's like, what the hell? Like, I understand that Aaron Rodgers is not throwing the ball immediately. Like, he kept holding on to the football too long to be sacked by defensive players. I get it, but at the same time, there were certain points where Aaron Rodgers didn't have enough time to throw the ball out of his hands before being sacked because his offensive line couldn't hold off the defense. So I don't want to hear about... Actually, I didn't even get to Green Bay's defense. I forgot about that. Oh my Lord. This Green Bay Packers defense... If the offensive line for the Green Bay Packers didn't feel dominated, their defense certainly did get dominated by Jimmy Garoppolo. And that 49ers offense. I mean, it's just that unbelievable. I could not believe what I was seeing. The 49ers showed up, whereas the Packers didn't. I mean, you look at Jimmy Garoppolo, 14 out of 20, 253 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He had a relatively decent game. I'll give him that. Raheem Mostert, one of the running backs for the 49ers, 6 rushing attempts, 45 rushing yards, 1 touchdown. Tevin Coleman, 11 rushing attempts, 39 rushing yards, 1 touchdown. I mean, the 49ers rushing offense wasn't really all that great. If you look at these numbers, they weren't really that impressive. There wasn't a single running back for the 49ers that stood out as one of the highlights for this game. But getting onto the receiving core, particularly with George Kittle, this dude, I mean, 6 receptions, 129 receiving yards, 1 touchdown. I mean, and has 6 out of 6 targets. Basically, got all the targets and receptions. This dude was absolutely sensational. Absolutely, positively sensational. And let me also say this. George Kittle is reminding y'all who the hell he is and what he's capable of and what he wants. He's having a season this year to remind us that he's challenging Travis Kelce for being the best tight end in football. I'm not saying he's replacing Travis Kelce as the best tight end in football because I still believe that Travis Kelce is still the best tight end in football. I still believe so until proven otherwise. Or I will stick to it until proven otherwise. But still, there's one man, there is one other tight end that is having a season to challenge Travis Kelce for being the best tight end in football. And that's George Kittle. He's making a statement, a huge statement, to everybody about who's the best tight end in football. Or at least proving. I was so impressed with what I was seeing from George Kittle. He was absolutely spectacular. I mean, he's a close second for me right now to Travis Kelce. I would say Travis Kelce is the best. George Kittle is the second best. I don't know who would be my 3rd, 4th, and 5th best tight ends right now in the NFL. But I will tell you that that my top 2 tight ends in football right now are Travis Kelce and George Kittle. That's where I can't speak. That's just where I stand. Travis Kelce first, George Kittle second. Now, does that mean that will last after the end of the season? No. I'm not saying that. George Kittle, if he continues to duplicate his performance from last night, within their next 4 out of 5 remaining matchups, George Kittle might replace Travis Kelce as the best tight end in football. If he continues to be on the path that he's currently on, if he continues that path, he'll replace Travis Kelce as the best tight end in football. That's just where I see it. Or that's just how I see it, rather. So, big props to Travis Kelce. Nick Bosa, Listen. This dude, Nick Bosa, I don't know what to say. He went after, he was all over Aaron Rodgers' face all night long. Aaron Rodgers could not get out of Nick Bosa's territory. He could not get out. He could not get away from Nick Bosa. Although there is one play where he tricked Nick Bosa into believing that he's giving the ball to his running back when in fact he's still holding the football and then went off and tried to get the first down. That's probably the one play where Nick Bosa didn't get Aaron Rodgers at. But that's it. Outside of that, Nick Bosa was basically in Aaron Rodgers' face all game long. And Aaron Rodgers' offensive line could not hold him off. They could not hold him off, as well as the rest of the defensive line. The front seven for the 49ers. Basically, the San Francisco 49ers decimated the Green Bay Packers 37-8, which was the final score of the game. They decimated them. Period. There is no other way around this. It was just that unbelievable. Like I said, Aaron Rodgers, 20 out of 33, or 20 of 33, 104 passing yards and 1 touchdown. 104 passing yards, which, if I'm not mistaken, though I could be wrong, was the fewest passing yards Aaron Rodgers has ever passed in his entire NFL career within a game. The fewest passing yards he's ever made. Though I could be wrong, you could correct me on that, and I would stand. And then I probably would stand corrected. Would be. But it's not Aaron Rodgers' fault that the Packers lost the game. It's the Packers' fault for losing the game. His offensive line didn't show up. His receiving corps didn't show up. His running game didn't show up. Damn it, his defense didn't show up. They could not catch up with the 49ers. And as a result, the San Francisco 49ers are still the current number 1 seed in the NFC for the upcoming playoffs. Followed by the New Orleans Saints, who are the current number 2 seed in the NFC. After beating the Carolina Panthers with a game-winning field goal, 34-31, and having the current record of 9-2, and the 49ers 10-1, only having 1 loss this season so far. Kyle Shanahan, and let me say, I didn't even mention Kyle Shanahan, and I should be ashamed, because, and I have mentioned this before in one LBFT episode that I've done so far in Season 3, but just a few weeks before the season began, I did a Battle 5 list on NFL coaches on the hot seat. And Kyle Shanahan was, I believe, number 4 on my list. I believe he was number 4, but I'm not sure. I talked about how he didn't have a better record than 4-12 as the head coach for the San Francisco 49ers. Having only 2 seasons as the head coach and not having a single winning season. I was basically like, I was basically being critical. I was going to say of Kyle Shanahan. I was very critical of Kyle Shanahan, but then I realized that his team didn't has suffered a lot of injuries. There were lots of players on that roster that suffered from their injuries, and they didn't have enough playmakers to keep their entire team from losing. That didn't win enough games the last couple of years. So I come to my senses, and I wanted to take this moment to apologize. If I didn't apologize that one time that I did, then I will apologize this time. Kyle Shanahan, our coach, I apologize. I really am. I'm sorry that I've been harbored. I've been sounding very harsh on you before the season began, putting you on the hot seat. Well, kind of on the hot seat, putting you at number 4 on my list for NFL coaches on the hot seat. That was unfair, and I apologize for that. I have no other excuse to make for putting you on my list for hot seat coaches in the NFL. You deserve props where props is due. You deserve props. You deserve praise. You deserve a lot of cheering from the 49ers fans. You deserve a lot of respect and love from your players as well. You deserve a lot of respect from the rest of your coaching staff. And I also want to say, after apologizing to Kyle Shanahan, I want to say that Kyle Shanahan, Coach Shanahan, you are my NFL Coach of the Year. You are the front runner for NFL Coach of the Year, as far as I'm concerned. There's no other coach. Maybe Bill Belichick. I don't know, but I'm not certain about that. But definitely Kyle Shanahan. You are Coach of the Year. What you have done, what you have put together, what you have been able to do. Excuse me, as the head coach for the San Francisco 49ers, especially this season. Basically turning this franchise around and silencing all the critics that said you're not a good coach, or you're not leading your team, you're not having a winning season. You're not winning enough big games. You're not taking your team to the playoffs. You're not a good coach. All that. You heard all the critics said about you. I bet you do. And I was one of them. I'm going to admit I was one of your critics. And you basically, throughout this entire season, shut me up. And I couldn't say enough. I could not say anything else other than I'm sorry and saying congratulations, and then saying congratulations on having a great season with your team and your quarterback, and your organization and your coaching staff, all that. You deserve props. What else am I going to say? I basically have nothing to say. That's basically all I could come up with. So, anyway, guys, this is episode 9 of LBFT Season 3. Yeah. I'll do another episode in a few days. Maybe Tuesday or Wednesday? I'm not sure. And that next LBFT episode is going to be on my ranking list of all 14 NFL divisions. Each division that is made of 4 teams. I'm going to be doing a ranking list of all NFL divisions made of 4 teams, each made of 4 teams, from best to worst after week 12. So, keep an eye out for that episode on either Tuesday or Wednesday. Probably Tuesday. No, because I have 2 Battle 5 videos that I will upload on that day. So, I'll probably do that next LBFT episode on Wednesday. So, look out for that.
Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give it that like button to click, and if you'd like to see future videos from me, make sure to press up there to subscribe, and don't forget to turn on that bell icon so that you'll get notified about my latest videos. Have a great day, and as always, fight the good fight.